All right, this is the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe speaking. The previous with
You have
this.
to do yesterday's also, right?
This is yesterday's. This is yesterday's. This is yesterday's, I think. Yes, it's yesterday's. The Rebbe, my father, and the fifth Rebbe, there were 7 Rebbes in Chabad. The first one wrote the book, the Tanya. And the last one was the Rebbe I just showed you, the 7th Rebbe. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, I don't have a picture of him. Anyway, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, these are sayings by him. He was Rebbe Yosef Yitzchak. Okay, so his father, which was the Rebbe Rashab, Rebbe Shalom Dovber, he told someone at Yechidus. Yechidus means a private audience with the Rebbe. Here we go. Ever since God told Abraham, Lech Lecha, go from your land, and it is written that Abraham traveled southward. This is Holecha Negba, that Abraham traveled to the south. We have beginning the mystery of Birurim. Okay, this is a very deep thing, but it's very practical. A different way of looking at the world. Birurim means refining the world. According to Hasidic, according to Kabbalistic teachings, God made the world in a way that his holiness was, so to speak, broken. It's called the breaking of the vessels. And as a result, in the world, godliness is scattered all over the place. And it's concealed. It's concealed. You don't know where it is. And when that's the life of everything that there is in the world. And when you use anything in the world to serve God, so you're elevating that spark of life, of godliness, and connecting it to God. How do you know? How do you serve God? According to the Torah. That's the Torah is the handbook to do it. So when a person, let's say, found in a situation, he misses his bus, right? And instead of complaining all the time, he says words of Torah by heart, or he prays, or he does good deeds, or he helps other people, or he thinks positive thoughts, or he does something positive according to the Torah, then that refines the world. It refines that bus stop. It refines everything that's there around him. That's what's called the mystery of refining the world, because these sparks are scattered around the world. So by divine providence, man goes about his travels, and Abraham began this thing of traveling around to the places where the sparks that he has to purify await the redemption. Because again, we have to remember the reason we're in the world is to make the world holy, the physical world holy. And in order to do that, we have to reveal these sparks of godliness that are in the world. And little by little, this illuminates the world. The world becomes a little more meaningful, a little more difficult to be, how do you say, depressed and aggressive and things like that. Okay, so therefore, the Jewish people are scattered all around to elevate these sparks in the world. Tzaddikim who have visions see where these birurim wait for them as ordinary people. The cause of causes, in other words, God, who is the prime mover of all being, as he brings about, for various reasons, that people go to places where there lies their obligation to do these birurim. So big tzaddikim, they see where they have to go or where to send people to go in order to reveal these concealed and buried sparks. Tzaddikim know, but we don't know, but God arranges it, what's called hashgacha pratit. God arranges it so that we are found in a place, like I said, you missed the bus or something happens. You think it's a big accident, but you have to catch yourself and remember, no, I am here for a purpose. Jews were in Auschwitz, wherever it is, they had a purpose to raise things up. I have no idea how this works, but nevertheless, that's the purpose. So Jews are there to elevate the world and reveal, turn on these little lights all over the world to make the world into a godly and meaningful and blessed and happy place. That's what's called raising up the sparks. Okay, that was yesterday. We didn't do yesterday's. Now we're going to do today's. In the early years of the leadership of the first Rebbe of Chabad, the one who wrote the Tanya, he made a declaration. One must live with the times. Now, this was a very controversial statement to make because in the time of the first Rebbe of Chabad, there began a big movements of what was called the intellectual movement. What do they call it? The Enlightenment movement. Oh, Enlightenment. What was the Enlightenment movement? Why should Jews suddenly realize, wow, we're living in a world where there's this beautiful philosophers and psychiatrists and psychologists. Well, suddenly we're understanding the world. We're understanding the world on our own. And science is blossoming, and we're understanding everything. The more we understand the world, the more we realize that God has nothing to do with it. God has nothing to do with it. And therefore, we must live with the times. Now we're in new times, right? The times there are changing, and we have to live with the times. Let's throw away the Torah and all these old, antiquated ideas. Okay, let's not talk about the fact that all the ideas that they believed in, scientific ideas that they believed in back then, and for which they thought supplanted the Torah, all those ideas, the scientific ideas, have all been thrown away a long time ago, and they've been replaced by new scientific ideas. But let's forget about that. People were saying we have to live with the times. Forget about the Torah. The Torah is old. And the Alter Rebbe said we must live with the times. So people thought it can't be that the Rebbe is agreeing with these people. His brother Yehuda Leib, he explained that he said, the old Hasidim the elders discovered that the Rebbe meant you have to live with the Torah portion of the week and the particular reading, the Torah reading of the day. Not only you should learn the weekly Torah portion, but you should live with it. Okay, what does this mean? Every week, we Jewish people read a different section of the Torah to the point where we finish every year the whole entire Torah. We just finished that in Simchat Torah. We read the last portion of the Torah. We finish the whole Torah. So every week, 52, 53, anyway, it's divided up so that every week we read a different Torah portion. Sometimes it's a double portion, but we read it there. The Torah portion. So that's really the news. If you look at a newspaper, so it says everything in the newspaper is a lie. Either it's a lie or it's not true. Right? It says even the date on a newspaper is a lie. It's telling you the date. The newspaper comes out with today's date, and it's telling you yesterday's news, and you realize that yesterday's news is not really, especially now with the social media, right? So you read this happened, and it never happened, and the whole thing was a lie, and it was false news. Fake news has become a big word now. But fake news it's not a new thing. It was always fake news, which is not the case with the Torah. The Torah is not fake news, and it's telling you what's happening right now, not what happened before that somebody's reporting on it. The Torah is telling you right now. How do you understand? So it says you have to not just learn the weekly Torah, but you have to live with it. Because a very basic, essential principle in Judaism is that we make reality. We change the world. Not that the world doesn't exist. It's all subjective. The world certainly exists. There's no doubt about it. The world exists. God created the world. That's what it says in the Torah. The world exists. But we can change the whole working of the world. Just like a person, right? You can hypnotize a person and convince the person that he's a thief or that he's inferior. That's what all these psychiatrists are for. To change your attitude, change everything. Well, you don't have a new heart and a new eyes and a new brain, but you use them in a totally different way. And by means of that, it changes the whole world. The same thing, we have the power to change the world by getting the positive message out of the Torah. That's the news. That's really what news is. And that's what it means. We have to live with the time. We have to put life into the time, and means the time means the Torah portion of the week and the world around us. We can make it alive by using the Torah to enliven the world. Have a good day with Mashiach. Oh, story. Got to tell you a story. This is sort of schlepped out a little bit. One interesting why that doesn't work. Okay.
That's the main part of the shir.
I don't think so. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but okay. Everybody is to their own,
Like the dessert, it's the main part of the meal.
Yeah, yeah. Some people, I guess, only the little kids they look for the right.